Baruch Hashem, today is Motzei Chaf Cheshvan, and we're going to continue learning the Hemshech HaChodesh, which is the Hemshech within the Hemshech Tafish Samach Vov. So today we're going to learn Amud Kuf Samach Gimel Kuf Samach Dal. We're going to start in the middle of page Kuf Samach Beis, where we're continuing to discuss this idea where the Hamshacha of Atzilus is not a Hamshacha of Yesh Ma'ayin. It's rather the same exact before Atzilus, which is just coming as a shine, whereas Bria is a Yesh Ma'ayin, a new creation. And we're saying in the previous, what we learned yesterday, we were saying how the of Atzilus, that's called just the so we're saying that the ha'ara of Atzilus that's considered just the ha'ara goes from the level of Ak, from the one on top of it. But Lagabe Aaron Siftim Tzimtzum, that is also considered a Yesh Ma'ayin. And here we're going to dive deeper into what exactly the different levels of the ha'ara coming from the Eibishter is. Omnam Yesh Lemer, perhaps we can say the Gam Lagabe Akav Animshech Ma'arin Seif Shulam Alam B'chinas Ak, even the Kav, which is higher than Ak, Gam Lagabe B'chinas Zu Shaykh Lemer Datzilus B'chinas Adam Al-Aliyah. You can even say that Lagabe, the Kav, even the higher level of Kav, which is higher than Ak, even there Atzilus is exactly the same thing. Not exactly, it's comparable, it's comparison to the light of above. Mashanika Yesh Ma'ayin, this that Atzilus is called Yesh Ma'ayin, Zo, it's only Lagabe Atmos Erin Soif Shalamayim HaKav. It's only Lagabe the Atmos, which is higher than the Kav. Yesh Levarza Bezafan, we can explain this in two ways. And here we're going to start explaining one of the ways now. And the second way will be picked up. So we're going to learn the one way for probably about the next 4 mamarim or so, till the middle of Maimer Vayikra, and more than 4 mamarim. It's going to be about another 30 pages. And so we're going to learn the first oifen now. We'll start it, and we'll continue learning that a few mamarim, and we'll come back to the second oifen in a while. Something is explained. And this is what we're going to discuss. Kav is limited. There's 2 levels. There's one type of ha'ara from the Eibishter that is direct ha'ara of the Eibishter. Since the ha'ara is that the Eibishter is going to rule and control the world, it's ha'ara just of Ein Sof. This ha'ara is also after Tzimtzum. It's what we end up considering and calling the B'chinas Ura Makif. It's the same exact type of ha'ara that exists before Tzimtzum. Even after the Tzimtzum, the ha'ara remains in a level of Ein Sof. That's why this particular ha'ara that comes out Tzimtzum is only makif. It doesn't actually come in B'chinas Pnimi. It doesn't come internally into everything in the world. B'chinas Pnimi it cannot be internal. B'chinas makif. Obviously, it's not the actual same ha'ara as the Eibishter. It's an external type of ha'ara from Livnei Tzimtzum. Nevertheless, even though it's a chitzonius, since it is coming from the same ha'ara pre-Tzimtzum, even this external ha'ara of Livnei Tzimtzum is a very, very big ha'ara and very, very much. The Hamshacha Beis, which is what we're going to be focusing on for the next few mamarim, the second Hamshacha, it's limited. This is what we always call the B'chinas HaKav V'chut, the line and the string, Hemshech Me'erin Sof, Shehu Hamshacha B'chinas V'lumida. It's a revelation. It's a revelation that is limited. Or that comes in a limited way. In order that it should become internal in the Eilamis. The Esser spheres. That it should come internally in all the vessels of the Esser spheres, that every one of the Esser spheres should get to according to what they are supposed to get. These kalim cannot accept ha'ar shebivchina ein sof, Only once it's limited and measured, that's what the kav can accomplish. And here in the brackets, we're going to learn something which is very fundamental in understanding these ideas. There's two opinions in how Uris are, the level of Uris. We know there's Uris and Kalim. We're now talking directly about Uris, and there's two opinions about what the Uris, what the lights are. Aleph Shem Pshutim Mamash, they're extremely simple. They're exactly simple. If they ain't shaykh by him, since they're simple, there's no shaykhs of B'chinas Chachma v'Chesed Klal. Since the Uris, they're simple, Uris are all the same. They're a light from the Eibush there. You can't say on a particular light that this is light of Chachma or this is light of Chesed. According to this explanation, Hakav, who Amshacha b'B'chinas Bligvul B'atim. So the Kav is unlimited. Elo Shenimdad, but then the then comes out and gets measured up Maimer Kav Amida, according to the saying of this measurement, Kama Yumshach b'B'chinas Chachma. How much of this will be limited and go into the level of Chachma? Hainu, what does this mean, level of Chachma? Lahavish ulahachis sakelim de Chachma. To create and keep alive the kelim, the vessels of Chachma. But the itself is not Chachma in any way. Kama yumshach b'chinas bina. How much of the will go in bina? Hainu, and this means again, lahavish ulahachis klabin, in order to create and keep alive the vessels of bina. The Chiyagavna ba'amidas, and the same thing in all the midas and all the other kelim. Kosher barsham. And these kelim are what achieve the different levels in spheres. So that's one opinion. One opinion is that the Uris are simple, and the kelim are where, and the only measurement is how much of the Uris will go into the kelim. The second opinion is Sheba Uris Atzmon Yesh Gamkin Eser spheres. And the Uris itself also has 10 spheres. B'chinas Ura Chachma, there's a level of Ura Chachma of Ura Chesed. K'meshikotzim HaParadis B'shar Atzmis V'kelim, like I said in the Paradis. K'meshikotzim B'dira Maskul Yevil V'ushmachos HaPiyadei Azu. And that's what's brought down according to this opinion. K'meshikotzim B'drush Aram Minakanti. I think it's Moshe Minakanti. Elosh, Eser Spheres Sheba'ur, the 10 vessels, and B'chinas Pshitos, V'ayin L'gabe Eser Spheres Sheba'ur. So the simplicity in the Uris are only the way they're compared to the Kalim. But they're still Eser Spheres in the Uris. According to this opinion, Hakav Amshach Sheb'chinas Gvul Mida. The Kav itself is also limited. Some limitation and some measurement. So those are the two opinions, and we're again focusing on the Kav now being the Gvul Mida. But even according to the first opinion, the Kav starts the idea where Uris could then come limited. The first revelation of the Kav comes Chachma. The light of Chachma me'akav comes from the Kav. And the vessels of Chachma, that comes from Sev Kalam. The Liyosis Havas B'chinas Yesh, in order to be able to have a Yesh, there you have to come from the higher level, the level of Makif, which does not come through the Kav. Vim Kain. Nishma Mizeh, so it comes out of here. Shekoyach and Mutzah Chachma. The Hainu B'chinas Ur, Ein Nikar Yesh Me'ayin. The level of Ur, which is Chachma, is not Yesh Me'ayin. The Davka B'chinas Akli, Zel Shema B'chinas Yesh Me'ayin. Only the Keli is where you come Yesh Me'ayin. V'itzav, like we said earlier, is Mer and Sefer Seviv, because the Yesh Me'ayin can only come for Seviv. Aval Ur, this level of Ur, Shenimshach Ein B'chinas Yesh Me'ayin. V'akav, now let's talk about this Kav. Nimshach B'chinas Ur and Seif. Sha'ur mein amur, it's a direct ur that's the same style as the ur in Shayf. The l'chein nikar b'chinas chachma da'atzilos. That's at the beginning of the Kav, it's called chachma da'atzilos. B'chein kol da'atzilos b'shem adam adam al-elyon. To the level of atzilos, it's called comparable to the elyon. V'yishav is a chachma me'akav, ha'dei ribui yishtalshlos v'kama tzimtzum b'chinas mi'at. In order to get into this chachma, you need to have many tzimtzumim. Yet the ur has to get less and less. Tzimtzum ak, b'seidat dikna. After tzimtzumim, although there's all this tzimtzumim, it's still the same ar. It's still this level of midog gvul, which is the same ar lifnat tzimtzum, and therefore ein nikar yesh me'ayin. This is not called yesh me'ayin. So again, we're focusing now on the first pirush that this is ein soif mamash, and it's not a yesh me'ayin, although it is midog gvul. So even though it's a b'china of midog vul, it's not it's a level of midog vul, still it's not yesh ma'ayin. Only legabe the kav, we can say this idea that so only legabe the kav, you can say this idea that it's not considered yesh ma'ayin. So again, what we said was on the next in Maimer Adam Ki Yaakov, we're going to talk about the level of the kav being bligvul. But here we're talking about the kav being b'chinas mido gvul, but still it's not called yesh ma'ayin. Lefi shakav masher ensef meir b'chinas gvul mido shahaya apit simtum makim bane shahaya or al yedei tzimtum, yeah, it was through the tzimtum makim bane came the kav. Shu stal kos b'chinas ein sof shaloi liyes b'gilui b'chinas ein sof el b'chinas gvul mido. That the Eibishter made a tzimtzum makom panoi that said that it's now not going to be ein sof, it's not going to be unlimited, it's going to be limited. When the first revelation comes in Chachma, and therefore, even though it's a direct shine from this Aron Sef Abligvul, because the whole point of the Kav is that it should not be unlimited. Here we can start saying that it's the first revelation of Chachma. This is not yesh ma'ayin comparable to this b'china, the arsh b'chinas gvulumida. Yesh ma'ayin doesn't constitute coming out of a gvulumida. It's revealing something that was concealed, but that's not yesh ma'ayin. But if we're going to compare this Ur of Reish Tzachachma, comparable to the Ur, which is mamash ein sof, v'loy b'chinas gvul mida, from b'chinas seviv kalamim, this level of seviv kalamim, which is mayor even in the world, when we're referring to that level, afilu akshla, ma'ila ma'ala ma'atzilus, even the level of ak nikra b'ya yesh me'ayin, to kol shekein b'chinas chachma d'atzilus. When we're referring to ein sof, lo shachal, spheres elu, getter spheres elu, there's no idea of spheres. Because it's bar shom, inside the aras of seviv kalamim, hayamav shechribi revav spheres. From this level of Sev Kalam, there would be unlimited millions and millions of spheres. If it would be totally in a different level. This is also discussed in the earlier Ma'amar. We cannot say that the Chachma is just revealing. The Kav, which is again a direct Amshacha for Ur Ein Sof. But where Ur Ein Sof decided that it's going to be Mido Gvul, there you could say it's Helam Al Giluy and not Yesh Ma'ayin. Kivon Shu Arash Gvul Mido. Al Gabe Ein Sof Baruch Sev Kalamim. There, when we're referring to there, the level of Chachma is coming from Yesh Ma'ayin, because this level is not Begeder Chachma at all. So we're basically talking about in this level of Achidish is Alachem. So we started talking about the Neshamas the Ma and Neshamas the Ban. That there's levels of Neshamas that come from Atzilus and levels of Neshamas that come from Biyah. We're talking, all Neshamas come from Atzilus, but some of them are more their ikr is in Zav Atzilus and the ikr in Malchus, and therefore these some neshamas their ikr bearers in the neshama, some neshamas their ikr bearers in the guf, and we discussed at length how some like the neshamas of Moshe Rabbeinu, the neshama of David HaMelech, the neshama of Eliyahu Hanavi, and the neshamas of all the tzaddikim and the Asar Arugei Malchus. But then we started talking about how to understand this more, we have to understand what Atzilus is. Is Atzilus a Yesh Me'ayin or is Atzilus not? And so we're holding now is that Legabe the Kav, which at the moment we're explaining the Kav being a B'chinas Mido Gvul, where there's Kav begins the idea of measurement, but still it's a Ur Ein Sof. So Atzilus over there is still just revealing what was concealed before it. Because it's the same Ur Ein Sof Abligvul, but then the Eibusher decided that it's going to be from the Kav and a B'china of Gvul. So Legabe that, it's a Gila Elam. But when we're referring to the level of Seviv Kalamim, where there's no Shaykhs of Mido Gvul at all, there, even Atzilus, even Ak, and for sure Atzilus, are already a Bria Yesh Me'ayin. So that's the differences, and we were referencing the different levels of the Eibusher's revelation. From these two revelations, the B'china is Ein Sof. One revelation is Ein Sof. and the revelation of limitation. From there we have the two ways that the Eibishter runs the world. There's Anhagas HaTeva, the way the Eibishter does it in nature, and where the Eibishter runs the world higher than nature. The Anhagas HaTeva, the Eibishter running the world according to nature, Hu Hamshacha Shebivchinas Gvulumida. This is where the Eibishter's revelation is coming, limitation. This is the Ur that comes into the world. It's the source where all the worlds run, in the creations. And this source, the root of this Hamshach is from the Kav, the root, since the Kav is the same style as the source, that's where us Yidden, we can be misguided, and the world continues to run, and the world runs without any stop, and without any changes. And why does it run without any changes? Because this same Eibishter, the B'chinas Ein Sof, comes into this world to keep it alive. Shenikar Bazeh, we could recognize here that it's a Kaich Ein Sof. The way the Eibishter runs the world higher than Teva, this is where the Eibishter runs the world unlimited. There we could recognize more of a revelation of the Eibishter. This revelation does not enclose itself in the world. The revelation is unlimited. Here we see the Eibishter's greater revelation. This is going back to what we asked in the beginning of the Maimer. We said so why are we saying that Nisan is the first of the month? So we say Tishrei, and Tishrei is Man Brias Oilmas. That's where the world was created. This is where the Eibishter runs the world the way it's supposed to be, the way the Eibishter reveals himself and encloses himself in the world. There should be nature. The the source, that's the limitation and the measurement of the world. Aval Nisan, what we're talking about here, it's a month of redemption. This is the way the Eibishter runs the world higher than nature. Like all the miracles the Eibishter did. By Yitzias Mitzrayim and Kriyas Samach the Shiur, where the root over there is the unlimited revelation of the Eibishter. The revealed himself. That's the direct revelation of the Eibishter. We can understand both things. Tishrei is talking the head of the year. It's called the head. It includes the whole year. But that's the way the Eibishter reveals himself in a limitation. Nisan is also called the head. This is the unlimited revelation of the world. This revelation, Nisan Rosh. It's the month of Geula. So here we kind of finished the idea where we have two ways to contemplate the greatness of the Eibishter. One is Hamshacha Gvulis, Hamshacha in a limited one, according to the nature, according to what we see. We're here, we see the Eibishter running the world. But then there's a higher way where the Eibishter goes and does miracles and takes it out of tough situations and even higher than nature. And understanding this better is by understanding the Hamshachas of the Eibishter, which the focus over here was the Hamshachas of the Kav, which is Gvul and Midah, like we have a Rosh Hashanah. And then there's a higher Hamshachah, the Ur HaSovev, which comes higher than the worlds. With that we finish the Maimer HaChodesh. We're going to start now Vayoylech to finish today's Shiur of Amud Kuf Samach Dalet. So the Maimer Vayoylech, which is the 20th Maimer, today's also Chav Cheshvan, so we're Maimer Chav, and this Maimer, the Mafteach says, here we discuss how the Hechech, the Or Hu HaNikra Ein Sof. We're going to see how Or is what's called Ein Sof. And it's actually a fascinating mimer over here, where we're going to continue this discussion about how the Hamshacha through Kav, and how Legabe that level, Atzilus is only a Giloy HaHelem, whereas Legabe Ur HaSovev, it's a Yesh Me'ayin. Vayoylech Hashem es hayom beruach kodim azar kol hayom vayibaku hamayim. The Eibishter led the sea with a strong eastern wind all night, and the water split. Sarach Lavin ala Kiryas Yamsuf Loy in TV. Kiryas Yamsuf was not natural. It was a miracle, a wondrous miracle, greater than nature. Who needed this wind? It's like making a natural way of doing it. We didn't need any preparations. To understand this, we said Atzilus is Adam Hashem Adam al Elyon. It's only comparable to the Elyon. It's not a Yesh Ma'ayin. Atzilus is just a revelation of the concealment. We said Chachma is Taka Yesh Ma'ayin. In this Bar Lil, we explained. Atzilus Adam al Elyon and Gabe Ak. Comparable to Ak, Atzilus is only revelation. Even the Kav, it's just a revelation. There's and again, we're still talking about the Gilui Akav being a Gvul Midah. Or general revelation of the Eibush are unlimited. Shezo Aretz B'chinas Malchus Ein Sof. V'Akav Gam Kin Shorsh of Shechasei. The root is Libnei Lifnei Tzimtzum. They're both Lifnei Tzimtzum. V'Oim Ein Amar. V'Akav B'chinas Zu Chachma Datzilus B'chinas Adam Al-El. According to this, Chachma Datzilus is just Adam Al-El, just comparable just to Gilui Halam. V'Akav Hemshech B'chinas Ein Sof. Ksiv to the Gilui Araseviv. Then it says, "V'achachmayin it's like a yeshmayin." Omnu Madayin Tzarech Lavin says that Rebbe Shabbos still have to understand. Me'achar she'achachma ligabe akafi b'chinas Adam al-Elyon hainu b'chinas Atzilus shu b'chinas Gilui Halam chachma v'Atzilus. When we compare it to the kaf, it's only one level lower, but it's still the same Gilui It's just a revelation. V'akav b'chinas Atzilus or Tzimtzum Lifnei Tzimtzum. And if we go one step higher, kaf is the same Lifnei Tzimtzum. Sha'ar Romein Amar. The of the Kav is exactly like the source of the Eibishter himself. Im Kein Hareu Gam Kein B'chinas Gilui Halam. Also Kav is B'chinas Gilui Halam. V'Gam Dam Shach Sakav Odeh Tzimtzum. Even though it's through Tzimtzum, Mikol Makom Harei Mevor Beitz Chaim Shezel Mash Achar Tzimtzum Hemshech Min Ha'er Seif Kav Echad Yashar Min Ha'er Igel Shalom. Eitz Chaim explains that the Eibishter after Tzimtzum took out a line directly from his Ur himself. V'Roisha Elyon Shalakav, the top tip of the Kav Nimshech Min Ha'er Seif Atzmoi, is a revelation from the Eibishter himself, or Ein Sof itself, and again it touches it. Specifically, according to what we explained, after the Tzimtzum and the concealment of the earth, that's a distance, because there's a concealment of the earth. Then the Kav came out, again to be closeness. So again, this is all exactly a of the Ein Sof itself. In order to reveal the Kav. There was an opposite movement from Tzimtzum Shuyin in Silukar. Tzimtzum is removing the Ar. The opposite happened, Tzimtzum in the same exact Ar which was existing before the Tzimtzum. It again revealed itself. So the question over here is, Atzilus is exactly the same Ar Lifnei Tzimtzum. And he brings a mashal. When a Rav is giving over Seichel Talmud, the B'tchila Tzarech Tzimtzum Ar, first you have to conceal the Ar. Shemalim Ar Seichel Gamrei, first to conceal all your Ar, in order to be able to bring out the Ar for your Talmud. Again, so you conceal all the Ar, you bring out Oisius that you could explain to someone else, but it's the same Ar coming out again. Just from concealment, you cannot give anything over to anybody else. Only what you then reveal again. So the Chayzer Meir is exactly the same Ur, and that's where the Ur comes out of. So Taka, from the concealment, you already developed the Ur. When you do the silk in a way that now you could give it over, you could conceal in Gantim. To make the seichel wouldn't exist at all, and then no Ur comes out. We're talking about an oifen that the silk is not complete. You're doing a siluk only in order to give it over to someone else. By the concealment itself, since the Ur exists the existed. Before you concealed, before you concealed it, it wasn't recognizable. Through creating the tzimtzum, through concealing your Ur, you create a separation from what's internal to what's external, and now the external part can go ahead and you can explain it over or give it over to someone else. The Eibusha can now give his Ur out to the oil. You can recognize the Ur. So now, so taka through tzimtzum itself, through siluk itself, you're already creating the Ur, and now you're going chozer veneer. It's exactly the same Ur. So if the same exact Ur, why is chachma yesh me'ayin in one way and another way just like gilei hahelim? L'chayra, if we go one step above, we said it's gilei hahelim legabe the kav. The kav is gilei hahelim legabe Ur and shalif ne'atzim. So if you look at where it originated from, it's exactly the same Ur. So why in one way we say it's a yesh me'ayin and in one way we say it's just a gilei hahelim? And this is what we're going to discuss in the Maimer here, Vayelech Hashem. Afreilach Yom Tif, Afreilach